legendary Turok warrior in this intergalactic action shooter. To stop an alien threat from destroying all human life, you'll journey solo or with a team of warriors online and battle all sorts of primal creatures in ferocious combat. Swap between first-person and third-person perspectives as you unleash weapons, melee attacks, and special abilities to devastate foes. Extract DNA from fallen enemies and the environment to upgrade your arsenal, evolve your mantle, and unlock even more abilities called Echo Sinks to gain a greater edge in combat. As you venture across breathtaking worlds, you'll unravel the mysteries that ultimately hold the key to saving humanity.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we will talk about Turok Origins, one of the most surprising comebacks in modern gaming. After many years of silence, the legendary Turok franchise is returning, but instead of simply repeating the classic formula from the old games, the developers are pushing the series into a much more modern direction. The new title is being developed and published by Saber Interactive, and it's being described as a fast-paced sci-fi dinosaur shooter where players take control of legendary Turok warriors fighting both brutal prehistoric creatures and a mysterious alien threat. The game focuses heavily on action, cinematic combat, and cooperative gameplay, meaning you can experience the adventure solo or team up with friends in a 3-player co-op mode designed around teamwork and intense battles. One of the most interesting mechanics revealed so far is the DNA progression system. Instead of simply collecting better weapons or upgrading damage numbers, players will be able to harvest DNA from defeated enemies and sometimes even from the environment itself. This DNA can then be used to unlock new abilities and upgrades that evolve your suit and combat style throughout the game. In other words, the more enemies you defeat, the more powerful and unique your character can become. According to early information and previews, these upgrades are not just minor stat increases, but meaningful changes that can affect how you approach combat, giving players the freedom to build different playstyles as they progress. The world of Turok Origins is also shaping up to be very diverse and chaotic. The game takes place in environments inspired by the classic Lost Lands concept from the original series, combining dense jungles, ancient ruins, futuristic technology, and alien influences into a single dangerous ecosystem. As you explore these areas, you'll encounter massive dinosaurs, aggressive creatures, and large-scale combat encounters that often lead to boss-style fights. These battles are designed to test both your skill and your coordination with teammates, especially when multiple players are combining their abilities and weapons to bring down enormous enemies. Another big talking point coming from early previews is the camera system. Even though the game is primarily marketed as a third-person shooter, at least one hands-on preview reported that players can switch between third-person and first-person perspectives. This is actually very important for longtime fans of the series, because the original Turok games were famous for their intense first-person gameplay. Being able to switch perspectives could give players the best of both worlds: the cinematic view of third-person combat and the immersive precision of first-person shooting when needed. The game also introduces a class-style system inspired by spirit animals. According to early coverage, players can choose between 3 main archetypes: Raven, Cougar, and Bison. Each of these classes offers different abilities, equipment, and combat roles, encouraging players to work together instead of simply acting as identical gunfighters. In cooperative missions, this could create interesting team dynamics, where each player contributes something unique to the fight, especially during larger encounters and boss battles. Of course, early previews have also pointed out a few potential concerns. Some testers mentioned that certain environments felt a bit dark or visually cluttered, which could affect visibility during intense combat moments. Others noted that mission objectives sometimes felt a little straightforward in the preview build. However, it's important to remember that these impressions are coming from early versions of the game, and many of these elements can still change before the final release. If the developers manage to improve environmental variety, mission design, and progression depth, the game could easily become one of those co-op shooters that players return to regularly with friends. Right now, the most concrete information about the release window points to fall 2026. The game is currently planned for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC via Steam, and even the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2, which is a pretty ambitious platform lineup for a game that aims to deliver large-scale action and swarms of enemies on screen. The fact that the game was revealed during the Game Awards 2024 also shows that this isn't a small side project, but a serious attempt to bring the Turok franchise back into the spotlight. So whether you're excited because of nostalgia, because you love the idea of fighting dinosaurs with futuristic weapons, or because you're simply looking for a new co-op shooter to play with friends, Turok Origins is definitely a game worth keeping on your radar. It's trying to modernize the franchise while still keeping the core idea that made Turok special in the first place, surviving impossible battles against massive monsters using crazy weapons and fast reflexes. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.